somebody posted, I guess, on Rumble somewhere, and Joan, this was before your time. Sam, this was before your time. But somebody posted and said the same people, the types of people who are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk are the same people that celebrated the death of Phil Valentine. And that is true. That's absolutely true. You got, oh my goodness, Joan. When Phil passed away, the lack of humanity in some people was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. I mean, you know what? I don't want to go back to that horrific time. But what I said at the time was there are so many people that are mourning the loss of Phil Valentine. And you could say the same thing about Charlie Kirk, is that it does drown out the just vile people that were celebrating in Uncle Phil's demise. So, but yeah, that people are making that correlation. And it is true. It is true. Now, again, it's not all of the people on the left. And in the last hour, I played you a little bit of audio from somebody, one of the last people to ask Charlie Kirk a question before the assassination. And he said, listen, there's a lot of things that I disagree with Charlie Kirk on, but he shouldn't have been shot. And he's still a human being. And so I would like to see more people on the left come out and condemn their own side. No, I don't think that they're going to, but I would very much like to see that en masse, just like the fans of Charlie Kirk are coming out and condemning the hateful and celebratory comments regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. By the way, here's how it's going to work today. We are taking calls all show long. Phone lines are open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. The search for Charlie Kirk's killer does continue. Now, I do like this. This is a headline. Of course, we did speak a little bit about this in the last hour, where the FBI came out and they have a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, at one point, they said they were really close and the walls were closing in. Well, then why are they offering a reward? I mean, that'd be my question. That's number one. Number two, and also, why are they then asking for everyone's Ring camera images from that point in time, right? So I don't know if the FBI is as close as they were indicating at first to finding who did this and making an arrest. But real quick, Bill Ackman has come out and he is contributing $1 million to the FBI's $100,000 reward. Robbie Starbuck has pledged an additional $25,000. Love Robbie. Some other folks have also contributed to the fund as well. So we do have, I mean, I think that is $1.15 million is now the total reward for information leading to the arrest of the person that took out Charlie Kirk.
And if anyone wants to get mad about that, those are private donations. That's not the FBI offering that money up. And then the other thing I would point out is that there was $250,000 offered for information leading to who hung the noose at the Titan Stadium construction site. So spare me your selective outrage on that.
Yes, that's a great point. By the way, I need my water.
Oh, sorry.
Did you not do your duties today?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I'm having some voice issues today, and so I told him that during the break I had to read a commercial, and he said, "Do you want me to get you some water?" And I said, "That would be fantastic, thank you." And it's 6:12, and I still don't have my water.
Did he bring your slippers? I mean, honestly.
That's enough out of you, Philly Joan. Anyway, no, he offered, so it's very nice of him. Here's some good news. Students at Vanderbilt say that they are going to start their own Turning Point chapter. You know, one of the things, and I don't know, friends, if you listened to Chris Hand's show yesterday, I mean, he made it through, and he did an outstanding job during his show. Of course, very emotional for Chris, as you can imagine. He knew Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a big influence on Chris, and he said that there's a lot of Turning Point people here in Middle Tennessee. This is the headline from the Tennessean. Vanderbilt students plan to start Turning Point chapter after founder Charlie Kirk's death. You know, one of the things that I said yesterday was, I think that, and I don't want to, be seen as politicizing his death, whatever, but I do believe that ultimately this will be good for Charlie Kirk's message, because I think that people are so horrified at what happened that they are, and I've noticed people are doing this, and it's not because it's what I've been asking, but because people are just doing it. They are amplifying Charlie Kirk's message. And so there's probably a lot of people out there who, frankly, hadn't really paid much attention to Charlie Kirk. But there was a caller yesterday, I think it was to Murphy's show, who said that he was not as familiar with Charlie Kirk, but he is now listening to his message. And as I said yesterday, those are timeless. Follow me on X at Dan Mandis Show. I've been reposting and sharing a lot of the videos that he has made over the years. But I love this from the Tennessean. By the way, Super Text line is open, and we are taking phone calls as well all show long. I'm sure Chris is going to take some calls too. 615-737-9986. Would love to hear where you're at today. Here's where I'm at. Where I'm at is yesterday we mourned. Today we're getting active. And in the news today, it's really, to be perfectly honest, it is hard to get away from all the people who are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, but also how they are being outed. They're being outed by either people on the right or people even, within their own circle of friends who are horrified at what their friends are doing. So I love this, and people are getting, we've been talking about this. We talked about it in the 5 o'clock hour. People have been fired. People have been suspended. We'll continue that coverage. But Charlie Kirk's death has now inspired some folks at Vanderbilt University who are now going to form a Turning Point USA chapter on campus in response to the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. They say the students have not yet filed paperwork with the university to create a registered student organization on campus. They did say they're in contact with leadership at Turning Point USA. And yesterday, Chris was talking about how there's a lot of Turning Point people here in Middle Tennessee. So I love that this is happening. They talk about Charlie Kirk started, as you know, friends, if you've been listening, he started at the age of 18 or 19 years old, starting Turning Point USA, and it grew into at least $100 million organization. And I think that is incredible. So when we talk about getting activated, when we talk about, remember what Greg Gutfeld said yesterday, and I thought this was so powerful. I'm actually going to play it again. I need some audio. Greg Gutfeld said yesterday that it takes a lot to really mobilize the right. It takes a lot for the right, and I'm air quoting, it takes a lot for the right to get really pissed off. But this might be the moment.
Thoughts and prayers for his family. They need it from all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Yeah.
It's like we're not the radical type. But if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
I mean, I think that is true. And it's interesting, too, because as we talk about all of these things, yesterday I didn't play a lot of the comments that people like Governor Pritzker out in Illinois said, or some of these other folks. But
all due respect,
I do want to point out, this is Gavin Newsom just a few weeks ago. Remember when Gavin Newsom said this? These comments by these people on the left are not aging well. This was Gavin Newsom just a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry. I know some people's sensibilities. I respect and appreciate that. But right now, with all due respect, we're walking down a damn different path We're fighting fire with fire, and we're going to punch these sons of bitches in the mouth.
Or shoot him in the neck. Is that what Gavin Newsom meant? I'm just asking questions. But when you use that kind of vernacular, and you know that your side has been gunning for the right, literally gunning for the right for a long time, it just seems absolutely reckless. And by the way, when Newsom says we're going to fight fire with fire, what exactly does he mean? Because Republicans aren't going out and shooting folks. I mean, we were trying to figure out, okay, so when was the last time a Republican shot a Democrat, like what's happened with Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump? I mean, I can't think of one. Can you? I mean, if anybody can, Sam, you're smarter than I am. When was the last time a Republican tried to, in a political assassination kind of a thing, when was the last time it happened? I can't think of one.
I don't know if it has happened ever, and if it has, it hasn't happened in decades.
Yeah, and we don't know what happened in Minnesota. We don't know who that guy was. We don't have that information. John is calling from Bethpage on WTN. Hey, John, go ahead.
Good morning, Dan. I just appreciate you and what you're doing and trying to get the word out. And, Joan, I hope you have good results going and talking to Vol State today. That's the school I went to become a paramedic, and my kids all went there before they moved on to four-year colleges. So I'm very ashamed of that person being kept in the classroom if that's what happens.
Well,
so,
and you know what? If that, and John, if that happened, and we're trying to find out if that happened, and I did encourage that caller's son to come forward and be a witness, because that's what conservatives need right now. If that's what his son witnessed and that went on all day, well, then that teacher does need to be outed. And John is a guy who is a proud alum of Vol State. You ought to call Vol State and say, hey, listen, I'm an alum. And if this is true, I heard this on WTN, then if this is true, I expect you to do your due diligence. If this is what happened, that teacher needs to be fired.
I agree totally.
All right, John, thank you very much for the call. I do appreciate it. If you're just listening, if you're just tuning in, earlier in the program, in the 5 o'clock hour, we had a guy call up and said his son, who is 16, but he's taking classes at Vol State, dual enrollment. And he said yesterday the teacher went on for like an hour on how great of a thing it was that Charlie Kirk had been shot and killed. And I told the caller was like, well, they're turning it back on us because they want him to come in and testify, if you will. And I told them, well, they do need witnesses, and they do need people to confirm what these allegations are. And I told him I think that his son needed to go to the principal or whoever it is there at Vol State and say, yeah, I can confirm this is what she did. And I can guarantee you that if that's what this professor was doing, somebody had to have rolled tape on that.
And with more voices, we can do something. And that's the whole point of this. We must do something.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, as we've all been saying, as I said, Matt Murphy did with his I Am Charlie Kirk sort of thing that he did the other day, and calling out people who are doing this kind of thing. I think that we do, as conservatives, we do need to be activated. And I love how, as a party, we're going after these people. I think it's great because they do need to be outed. This is David calling from Tennessee on WTN, obviously. Hey, David, how are you?
Hi, thank you very much for your support and my time. I just got off work, and I was that other caller the other day that never got through. I'm completely ignorant to politics. When I first heard his name, I'm like, who's that guy that got shot? But then I saw the YouTube video. Great debater, amazing phenomenon, such a faithful speaker. And when I put that faith to that name, my heart broke and shattered, but so much more that it was a wake-up call to the government, to the world around me. I mean, I'm a father and a husband and a hard worker, but I'm also an American citizen, a registered voter. I've served the military 15 years. And as far as it's time to act and do something, there's got to be an understanding of what that push your followers are going to support with. Because some like to take advantage or overboard when they don't even know what they're prepared to do in the first place.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, every member of the military was a safety officer, and when you see something, you got to say something. And a lot of people are scared. And Dan Kirk, my gosh, he was brave, and sometimes a sad truth in history. Many iconic, historic people that somehow they're trying to erase from history, that our kids don't even know who Tank Man was in Tiananmen Square.
Right. When
Martin Luther King was taken to heaven, you saw a shift in society, and I believe another shift is coming to our society.
So, David, real quick, so you were kind of apolitical. You have heard about Charlie Kirk. You remember Charlie Kirk. You're watching his videos now. I'm hoping you're sharing the videos on your social media. So would you say that you have sort of had an awakening to what Charlie Kirk stood for, which is biblical conservative values, family values as well? Would you say that you've kind of had an awakening, and would you call yourself now a conservative, or what would you call yourself? You said originally you were apolitical. Do you now identify more as a conservative?
Oh, I identify myself as an American ignorant. I'm a professional ignorant that needs to be educated, and I can't follow anyone with hearsay. I need to start finding facts myself.
Well, Dave,
and listening to WWTN, you guys do amazing news as far as illustrating both sides of the table. Every college needs to set up that table and expand that fair talk. A peaceful talk is much better than a fatal or damaging, massive destruction.
Well, Dave, I appreciate your awakening. I appreciate it. Sounds like Joan, he's kind of just discovered WTN as well. Keep listening to WTN. Keep watching those videos of Charlie Kirk, and find those people that are telling the truth. And in a very short amount of time, David, you will no longer be ignorant, as you said. You will be informed, and I appreciate you calling in. 615-737-9986. I got an email, Joan and Sam.
Oh, yeah?
From the prolific poster Tammy, who I love Tammy. She's great.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So it's really long, so I can't read the whole thing. But basically, here's what she says. Like everyone, I've really been challenged on a lot of levels for the past 2 days. And I've been praying in ways I haven't in a long time, asking for some enlightenment on how I and others can move forward without anger. Scanning socials through the night, a subtle positive sign for me, she says, was from someone who posted, I guess it's placing lilies on Charlie Kirk's impromptu memorial and walking away. So I think basically what she's trying to do is Tammy is hoping that we can somehow unite like we did post 9/11. And part of what I would say is, number one, I appreciate not wanting, I would say to Tammy and folks, that there are a lot of signs of enlightenment. You just got to know where to look. For example, I don't know if you saw this, Joan and Sam or folks, but on college campuses, like Christian campuses across the country, you are seeing big gatherings of Charlie Kirk memorials.
I've seen that. Liberty University.
Liberty University was one.
Yeah.
Huge, massive, I don't know, rally, whatever you'd call it, of people remembering Charlie Kirk. And no anger, just sort of honoring who he was and his message. And so, Tammy, I would say to anybody who is looking for some enlightenment, number one, I think it's okay to be angry. Like I do. I think it's okay to be angry. But you've got to use that anger and funnel it into something positive. So what I'm doing, because I am incredibly angry, is I am asking people, and I'm doing the same thing. And Tammy, you are a prolific poster, so you should do this too, is find those great videos of Charlie Kirk and share them. I think that it is important to not just, I could spend an entire broadcast just, playing the ridiculous audio of what people are saying. But, the other thing that we're doing is we're taking, calls from you folks, and we're also pointing out a lot of the positive things that Charlie Kirk did over the years, and we want to spread that message. So if you're looking for some enlightenment, Tammy, just find the messages from Charlie Kirk that you agree with and share them.
She just commented in the YouTube chat that, hey, by the way, in my email, it was Bruce Springsteen who is setting the lilies on the memorial, who is notoriously outspoken
okay,
on all
so
things
good.
MAGA.
She had a typo in there, and I didn't quite know how to read it. So Bruce Springsteen placed some lilies on Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, because we all know that Bruce Springsteen is very much to the left. So I think that's great that Bruce Springsteen did that.
I think we should expect, maybe hold out some hope that we'll see more of that. These people that have gone left in the celebrity world because it's popular, because it gains them networking and followers and things like that. Let's see their sensibilities like Springsteen. Let's see them come to the surface and realize what they've been aligning themselves with and how it's been ripping this country apart. Maybe it's the wake-up call. Maybe it's the turning point.
Well, and here's the thing is I could say be more like Bruce. Be more like Bruce. Don't be like Stephen King. You see what Stephen King did real quick, and then I'm going to get your calls?
Yeah, you tease this, and we expect you to deliver.
Stephen King says that Charlie Kirk advocated for stoning gays to death.
Oh, he's so weird.
So, now I was speaking in the 5 o'clock hour about a guy that he hired me, the guy that hired me my first ever job in radio, and somehow he ends up on my Facebook timeline, and he said the same thing, which obviously is total and complete BS. And so the thing that I like, though, is that people, and this goes along with the theme of the day, which is people started calling out Stephen King. I mean, you had all of these Donald Trump supporters that are saying, and people that are, Mike Lee is one, the Senator Mike Lee had a lot of things to say about calling out Stephen King. A lot of other people called him out as well, because what Stephen King was saying was actually an absolute lie. It was, frankly, a prostitution of what Charlie Kirk actually said about gay people, because that's not what he said. And bottom line is, he was saying, and I've got the audio, what Charlie Kirk was saying was that the Bible says certain things in putting it in full context. The Bible talks about stoning gay people. He never said it. The Bible said it. So this is the actual audio, just to give the full context of Charlie Kirk and what he said to a woman who was talking about the Bible and taking it in and out of the proper context.
The first part is Deuteronomy 6:3-5. The second part is Leviticus 19. So you love God. So you must love his law. How do you love somebody?
Here we go, folks.
You love them by telling them the truth, not by confirming or affirming their sin. And it says, by the way, Miss Rachel, you might want to crack open that Bible of yours. In a lesser referenced part of the same part of Scripture is in Leviticus 18, is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death. Just saying. So, Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters.
He's referring, of course, to Miss Rachel.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's putting it in context. And so they're saying that he said in some maniacal diatribe that gay people should be stoned to death. Now, do you think that Larry King, I keep saying Larry, I'm so old. Stephen King, do you think he'll apologize? No. He won't apologize. But they're bastardizing what Charlie Kirk said, and they're taking it way out of context. They're not taking it out of context. They're lying about what he said. And that obviously needs to be called out. Daniel is on line 1 on WTN. Daniel, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I was listening yesterday, and I caught the tail end of the conversation, so I'm not sure who you were speaking with, but it was a lady, and she referenced a quote that she had heard from someone previously and referenced it towards Charlie. And I'm hoping that you can remember the quote because I couldn't, but I thought it was a great quote. And I think that we could all hear it again today, and it'd be great.
Gosh, Joan, who was that, and what did they say?
I think it was Judy, right?
Okay.
I think it was.
Tell me again that I didn't hear him.
It was a great quote. I think it was Judy, and she said something. It was the wrap up of the conversation, and she said something very pithy, and it was just a very quick quote. And I don't remember. You know what, Daniel, keep listening. Because I guarantee you, in about a minute and a half, I'm going to have 50 people on the super text line reminding me what Judy said. And thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Or Judy, you can call back in.
Or Judy, call back in. Yeah, we take so many calls, and like it's hard for me to remember everything. But I remember now what Judy said was amazing. Will you keep an eye on the super text line for me, Sam? Because I know that somebody's going to text it in. Scott's in Nashville on WTN. Hey, Scott.
Yes, I'd like to talk about to the fact that you said that we got to be positive and everything, but what you need to realize that this other side doesn't really care if we're alive. They want to annihilate us, and on some level, this must be met with some and equal action.
So what are you suggesting?
I have no idea at this point, but if they're killing us, that might be a cause for war eventually if we don't watch what we do.
So
listen what you got to say.
All right, Scott. I'm a big advocate for self-defense. That's number one. Number two is that what we are doing as our side, because I don't advocate for violence. I don't. That's how we lose. We win with ideas. We win with debate because we are on the side of right. And we have all the ammunition we need with just our track record of success and our, in my opinion, our moral authority, our Bible, our God, our values. So I think that we are doing what we need to do. We are exposing the left. I mean, look what's happened with Stephen King. A lot of people did expose him. We're exposing the people in the Vols, not the Vols, but Vol State, where somebody, a teacher apparently spent an hour criticizing and celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. We're on that story, and if we get confirmation that a teacher actually did that, we will expose that teacher, and hopefully they will fire that teacher. I've got all these different stories that I haven't even gotten to yet of all of these people in Tennessee that lost their jobs or have been suspended because they celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. That's what we need to do. That is how we win with ideas and values and debate. And I think that is ultimately how we win. Because if we go out, and I don't know if you were advocating for violence, I think it was Scott. I don't know if you were advocating for violence or what, but we've had some of those calls. We don't win in the long run. I just had a call a little bit ago where a guy said that he's proudly ignorant. He said he was apolitical, and he said that he was a registered ignorant. But guess what? Because of the ideas of Charlie Kirk and because of what he's hearing on WTN and because we are winning in the battle of ideas, he is becoming and has become now a conservative. That's how we win in the long run. But I get the emotion. I totally get the emotion, Sam.
So shout out JT in the YouTube chat, remembering what Judy had to say.
What did she say?
Something along the lines of, I want to live for something worth dying for and be willing to die for something worth living for.
That is exactly what she said.
That's beautiful.
That is.
Steel
whose quote
trap
is
memory.
that? Whose quote is that?
I'll find it.
I mean, I don't know if that's Judy's. I mean, that's pretty good if it's Judy. Judy, I need you to write my Christmas cards. Real quick, John is on the road. Hey, John, go ahead.
Hey, I just want to make a couple of what I consider points that I use for talking. Is number one, the right or conservatives, we never wish death on anybody. We never called for Biden to be assassinated or anybody. And the other thing, too, is they didn't hate Charlie for his message. They hated him because he was effective with his message.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I wanted to say. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for taking my call.
John, you are absolutely right. I love it. And that's one of the things that I said yesterday is they killed Charlie Kirk because he was winning. That's why they killed him. They killed Charlie Kirk because he was winning. He was influential. He was changing people's minds, and he was a guiding light towards conservatism and God for all of those college students. And Charlie Kirk didn't start out speaking to 3,000 students. He started out talking to a handful at the age of 18, and it grew into what ultimately Turning Point did become. It really is. If you take the politics out of all of that and just look at the story of Charlie Kirk about how he didn't go to college, he didn't do any of that stuff, but what he did do was he was self-taught. Charlie Kirk was self-taught on, I think, everything. And so he obviously graduated high school, but he built up his Turning Point. He built that up from nothing into an over $100 million corporation, if you will. And he started speaking to, a few dozen people probably, and that grew to thousands of people all across the country. So take the politics out of it, and you just look at how incredibly impactful and effective Charlie Kirk was. And so I think John was right. John was absolutely right that they took out Charlie Kirk because he was effective. And by the way, just so you know, and Joan's got this in the news at the top and the bottom, but if you're just joining us, so far they have not captured anybody. They've got new video out there, and we've been talking about the video since it came out, I think, yesterday, where they have new video of the suspect jumping off of the roof of that building, getting away into that neighborhood. They also have video of him walking towards the school, towards the building where he took that fatal shot, and he was limping, which means that he had the gun actually in his pants. He hid it in his pants leg. So